Welcome back, guys, to the Next Level Business Podcast, where we're all about building wealth through the three pillars: business, real estate, and stocks, where we do deep dives on our own information and we bring in all these great guests that have experience in all these cool areas that can add value to what we do. Tonight, we've got Josh P in the house, and we're going to do a deep dive over what he knows best, which is the digital marketing. What's up, JP?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the love from all across the world. Let's look at the stats real quick. I want to do a quick shout out to see where we're getting downloaded at. Oh man, we had a crazy day. April 12th. That was big. All right, so let's see locations.
Man, we are truly in every continent except Antarctica.
Man, Antarctica. If you got anybody in Antarctica, share the podcast with them.
You know what I did? I looked that up to see if there's anybody that actually lives there, and no one actually lives there. But they
We
have
got a couple of
scientists.
what do you call those research stations?
Exactly. The scientists live there for for about 90 days to 4 months, and then they
Yeah.
leave. And it's a constant inflow and an outflow of those guys. So we'll give them a pass.
Yeah, well, they need to give us a listen, just like we giving them a pass. All right, guys. So shout outs from Dallas, Texas, our biggest city, Oceanside, New York, uh, Hugh, Ohio, Richardson, Texas, Keller, Texas in the building, Virginia, Wilmington, Austin, San Jose, Atlanta, Georgia. Top 10 countries: United States of America, Bangladesh, Philippines, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Sweden, Pakistan, Australia, and my home country, South Africa.
How about that? That's a
All
good list right there.
right, guys. So today we're talking about how do I hit Inc. 5000 3 times and how you can do it too. Okay. So um, the first thing me and Shane were just talking about off the back is um, and this is just my perspective and how I did it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I personally believe that when fix the marketing first, and you can fix all the rest of the stuff later. Okay, and what I mean by that is like I think a lot of people try to perfect their product or perfect their service or get to some certain extent or some place with their company before they start working on the marketing, and they don't put enough. For example, we are working with a client right now, and we're telling them to like make more YouTube videos, and they can just never seem to get it done. Every month we meet with them, and it's like it's just not getting done. Everything else comes before getting the YouTube videos done. Now, personally, YouTube for me has been one of the biggest channels to bring in business to my company. And I'm in manufacturing. Okay, so some people can look at that and say, "Oh, well, Josh, you know, YouTube works good for your business, but it won't work for mine." But that's a lie, because if you think about it, everybody uses YouTube. Everybody has YouTube on their phone. It's the number 2 search engine in the world, and they still not. The 80% of businesses don't use it. Okay, so get the marketing sorted out first. Okay, the first thing you need, get set up on all the social media channels. Get them all connected. Get them all integrated with each other. So just a quick run through: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Google My Business, Twitter. Those are like 6, and then your actual business website. Most people's business website doesn't even work. Our friend, we won't name him, but he has a contractor business, does HVAC. I mean, his website was broken. You go to his website, there's like blank areas on his website, on the homepage of the website. So he just came aboard as a client, and we redid his entire website, and it's looking really good now. It has a contact form. Okay, that's the next biggest step. If you guys taking notes, okay, number 1, YouTube. Number 2, your website. Number 3, make sure your contact form works. Okay, I can't tell you how many times you go to people's websites, you fill out the contact form, and I'll ask them like, "Hey, did you get the information?" And they're like, "No, we didn't get anything." Like, can you imagine how much business they're losing just by that? The only goal of the website is to produce leads. Okay, this is good information. You should be taking notes. If you're driving, pull over. All
Yeah,
right.
let's talk about that real quick. So you know, like sales comes before operational efficiency, right? If you don't have the sales, there's nothing to worry about
Yeah,
operating efficiently.
exactly. People want to perfect their product. They want to get their operations. They want to hire all these people before they even start even talking about the marketing and getting on camera. And that's the backward way to do it, in my opinion. Okay. Now,
Yeah, so
have there been businesses that have done it that way? Yes. Should it be done that way? Probably. But I tell you what worked for me, and that's the way I did it.
yeah, it's really impressive, man. You started from nothing and you have made the Inc. list 3 years in a row.
Hmm.
And you only make the Inc. list if you've got really rapidly growing revenue. And you have rapidly growing revenue because you have rapidly growing sales, right? So, and in your business, everything is about lead gen. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So, how did you get that lead gen to be so efficient? I know you're talking a little bit about YouTube, but can you break that down a little bit uh, more in depth?
Yeah. So the points I already covered earlier, those need to be set up. So I'm kind of starting off at the foundation level. Then I'm going to talk about how to get the traffic. So, getting the social media, getting your website, making sure your contact form works, and then when people go to your website, does it look good or does it produce leads? Because that's always a big problem, right? And it depends on who's running the company and who's in the company and who's a partner in the company and their emotions and their egos. Because I tell you, some people are like, no, it doesn't look. Someone told me one time, like they were like, no, that image doesn't look good on there because there's too much negative space. I almost lost my mind. Now, negative space. This word only comes from a Fortune 100 company that has an entire marketing and design team that would say something like that, and it doesn't. It's not applicable to a small business. I was designing a website for a friend and his wife who worked at a Fortune 100 company. She said negative space to me, and I didn't like. I choked up for a little bit. I didn't know how to process that. And I mean, I get it. Yeah, okay. The headers, there's too much space at the top. I mean, who cares about that? How many leads is it making? I don't have the best product. I don't have the best website, but I am the best known. Okay, write that down. Best known product wins or service. Right? It's not about the looks. Now, you can set up something that looks okay and make it look the best over time. But if you don't address the lead situation up front, then you're going to be, you're like a ticking time bomb and you're going to sink. And so a lot of people, they do it backwards. They hire the graphic designer and they hire $5,000 for a website and they hire this and that and hire that. And then at the end of the day, if you hire a web design team, they are good at making things look pretty. They are not good at producing leads. A pretty website will not produce leads. A lead producing website will produce leads. So a lot of people get hung up on that.
That's well said right there. A lead producing website will produce the leads.
Not a pretty website. You know, but I have probably one of the worst websites in the entire industry. I'll just tell you straight up. I'm proud of it because I know how many leads I get every day. I'm
How
the
many
number
leads do
one
you
in my
get a day, bro?
10 to 15 a day.
10 to 15 a day.
Yeah.
And how much
You
were you
guys, we
getting
are
prior to?
hiring. I am hiring sales reps. If you want to work and sell photo booths and quit your job, you can make 6 figures easily with us if you put in the work. We have too many leads. We can't handle it. Average sales about $8,000 to $10,000. We pay 7 to 10% commission. So if you guys are interested, hit me up on Instagram at nextleveljp. And we can have a discussion. This is a remote position. You can work from home. And yeah.
Yeah, and you hit a very good thing right there. So sales and marketing are two different animals entirely, right?
Yeah.
So the marketing side is what you're doing to drive the leads.
Right.
And then once you have this pile of leads, which you have on a daily basis, then you have to bring the sales guys in and train them to actually say exactly what you want and the proper ways to sell a booth. And after you've sold 1,000 of those, you know
Yep.
exactly the script to go down to help sell those booths. But marketing is the most important piece. You can
Yep.
teach the guys how to sell,
Right.
but it is all about getting the leads. And that's
Hmm.
why we're doing this show tonight because we wanted to focus on this is what Josh does best. This is how he's got this company to where it is because he has mastered the art of the lead generation system. And I'll be honest, dude, I don't know how to do that. So everybody has their strengths, right?
Yep.
Mine is on the financial side. Yours is on the marketing side, on the lead gen side. But we have a good overall understanding of the main four. The main four are the financials, the operations, the marketing, and the sales.
Hmm.
When you own a business long enough, you're going to be able to have a good understanding of all four, but you may not be the pro at all four. You're probably only going to be the pro at one, and that's okay. You get other people to help you on the four, and then you can just tell when you have a good grasp of the other three areas. When somebody's trying to BS you, right,
Yeah.
JP?
But which one will tear down the whole operation if you don't have it sorted out?
You got to have the marketing, man.
You got to have the marketing.
You got to have
So
the
why do
marketing.
people neglect it?
You know,
That's
you know why I think they neglect it? Because they're like me and they don't know anything about it and they don't know where to go
yeah.
I think, to get the right people to do it. And then you've seen this, like everybody's out there. I don't think they're trying to snow them intentionally. I just think they're not as good as they claim to be,
Right.
right?
Right.
Like the guy in Florida. We always talk about, everybody knows a guy in Florida that tries to do a lead gen system, and it never seems to be as good as you want it to be, right? You're paying all this money and you don't necessarily know what he's doing, but it doesn't create the leads. And I don't think the guy in Florida I don't think he's sitting at home devising ways to screw people. I think he's just not as good as he thinks he's promoting himself to be.
Right. And then
And
when it doesn't go as planned, he'll blame the market or you didn't spend enough.
exactly, he'll
Yeah.
blame everything else except him. That's the new American way, bro, is to not take any responsibility for your actions and to
The
blame somebody
new
else.
American way. Right. Yeah. So once you have the foundation set up, um, and there's only about 4 or 5 elements that you need to have in place. Okay. And I'm going to give you that. And you can take this to any company and have them set it up. But the problem is, this is the problem. Most companies will either do like 2 out of the 5 or 3 out of the 5, but never all 5. And that's the benefit. Like, if you sign up with Next Level Consulting and me and Shane, you get all 5 out of 5. You're going to get the elements. Plus you're going to get the financial backing with it, which is going to make you indestructible. Okay, so what I see is like, if you go, companies, they go and then they hire someone to do the website, and then they hire someone else to do the marketing. But in order for the marketing to be effective, they need to know what's happening on your website. They need to know, what are people doing when they come to the website? Where are they going? Which pages are they looking at? Okay. Now, most of the time, that marketing company, they don't like to play well with the website company. And so that's where you have a lot of the problem, is that the codes are not installed properly, the tracking codes. So when you are advertising, either those codes are not installed or they're not installed properly.
And
Okay,
when
so
you
you
say
don't know.
tracking codes, bro, what are you referencing for the
So a
dummies out
tracking
there like
code.
me?
So when you go sign up for any ad platform, whether it's Google or Facebook, you install a code on the website that tells Google, hey, Google, this person left the Google search engine. They went to the website and then they filled out the form and became a lead. Or they went to the website and did not fill out the form. They just looked around and then they left.
Is that the pixel?
That's the pixel. Yeah. Okay. So that now, most of the time, companies would hire the marketing company, right? And then they either don't install the pixel, install it incorrectly, or maybe it's installed. Okay, so you got the 3 options there. If it is installed, then the website may not be configured properly. And when I say configured, right, I mean, is there a contact us button on every page? Is there a call to action on every page? Or is there, most of the websites I see, the website, maybe there's like 25 pages and there's one contact form on the bottom of the contact us page, which is really hidden from the website, right? And so that's not going to produce a lead. I took on a tinting customer, and he had, like, in order for you to get to the contact form, you had to like click the contact us some more, then go down to reach out to us. So you have to click that, then wait for that page to load, then scroll to the bottom of that page, then fill out, a 10-question form in order for that to turn into a lead. That's never going to happen. Okay. So the next bullet point is, your website's too big. You got too much information. Okay. the new American the new American way now is they get an idea and they research too much, and then they get analysis paralysis, and then they never take action. Okay. Now, your website does that, then you're going to be losing money.
How
Okay.
do you know if your website is too big, bro?
I'm sorry.
How do you know if your website is too big?
It shouldn't have all the information. It should give them just enough to reach out. If every single detail is on there, like, my staff would tell me, well, Josh, can you put this on the website? They need to know what brand of camera and what model of the printer. I just say printer. I don't tell them what number, what model, what version, what, features. It just says printer. If you want to know, fill out the contact form or reach out to us.
How do you reconcile that with, like, I hear some SEO guys talking about you need to have all these different drop down boxes on your website that have all this information on it, right?
It's confusion, man. It's confusion. Simplicity is the future. No one wants to deal with that kind of confusion. And imagine how that's looking on a small 4-inch iPhone screen. A drop down menu on a 4-inch iPhone screen, that's terrible. That's a bad user experience. It should have one duty. There's just one function of your website to get a lead. Why are you giving them? They don't need to know, what color the leather seats are going to be in the car. They don't. They need to want to buy a car, and then they fill out the form and speak to the sales rep. That's it. If you give them too much information, they're either not going to find it, probably because nobody reads anymore, right?
No, that's also the new American way.
Okay, there we go. So we discovered the new American. We're going to rename this this one the new American. Nobody reads anymore, so it's pointless even putting it on there. First of all, second of all, if they find the information, then there's no incentive for them to fill out your contact form. Okay, so you give them just enough to where they know you have what they need, but they have just a few more questions, the detailed questions you want to get them on the phone for. Okay. So if I own a lawn mowing service and someone comes to my website and they want to know whether I clean out, what's the thing in the front, the flower bed, I don't have to put clean out flower bed on there. I'd say all service and custom services offered. Fill out the form below, to reach out to us, and then they can fill out the form and then speak to me over the phone, and I can tell them that. So there's a little bit of a difference there. All right, so we talked about the website. We talked about how to optimize the website, what you have on the website. You make sure to have a video on the website, a picture of yourself in front of your company, in front of your building, something like that. I like to have a video as well, walking through your facility, showing your products. A lot of people don't show enough of what they do. Okay, once you have this system set up, all right, so whatever business you got, the people go to the website, you got the contact form, they fill it out, and then you get the lead to your phone, and then you call them and you close them. That's a system that worked for me in the rental industry and the manufacturing business as well. So you can easily implement that, with Clickfunnels, or make any landing page if you use like WordPress or any website builder that you use. And then the last thing is the traffic. So the traffic is going to come from Google. Okay, so people are spending money on, someone said the other day, what did they say? They were like, yeah, we're going to go print out like 100 flyers and flyer a neighborhood, and then they were going to spend, I don't know, $500 on that. But instead they can go ahead and spend the $500 in Google and have their ad show up in front of people who are searching for their exact service. Okay, that's the difference between Google and the other, anything else really, is that you have the customer who is looking for your service or product, and you need to show up right away. But most people are focused on everything else besides that. And when somebody's searching for my product or service, I'm there. And when they go into Google and type that in, I come up, they go to my website, they like what they see, they fill out the form, and then I call them and close them. And that's it. It's a simple two-step. Simple two-step, 1-2 punch.
That's good stuff, bro. So go over that list. give the folks a summary of what you just said. Tracking codes is number one. Website's too big.
Yeah,
Number two.
website's too big. Make sure the contact form is working. Make sure your the tracking codes, and then kind of I lost my track here. Did you write it down?
You said traffic coming from Google.
Yeah, traffic coming from Google.
So the traffic from Google, that's going to be like your SEO, right?
No, not the SEO. This is paid advertising. So if you don't have, you can go on to Fiverr and you can hire someone for 200, 300 bucks, 500 bucks. They'll set up your Google advertising, and you tell them that you want to show up in Google when people type this into Google, and this is your business. If you mow lawns in Dallas, Texas, then your website should be, DallasTexasLawnmowers.com, and your keyword is, lawn mowing Dallas, Texas, and you tell the guy from Fiverr, I want to show up, I want my website to show up when people type in lawn mowing in Dallas, Texas. It's simple as that. It's really that simple. Anyone can do it.
That's why we got to hire people like you, bro.
Yeah.
It's not simple to be.
It's a 3-step, 2-step process, 3 steps.
Yeah. That's why we're doing a deep dive right now. So,
Yeah. But just cut out all the other stuff that you know. Stop reading the book, stop with the podcast, go execute the stuff, and you'll be okay. It's a simple stuff that people don't have. And this is the time and time again we see it. Every client that we've brought on that I've worked with, it's the same thing. Confusing website not working. They don't have the logins. It's too much information. They try to make it look pretty. They don't even have Google My Business set up, or they're not running advertising in Google. Their contact form is not working. People are searching for your products. I mean, you wouldn't have started a business, right? That's a fact. And when people need something, they go to Google. So all you got to do is be in Google, and you'll get that, that customer.
Yeah, and I can tell you, Josh and I do next level consulting, and I've seen you when we have these presentations. Which, first off, I'll tell you, when the other people that the companies that I work for, none of those guys give monthly presentations. Nobody gives monthly reports, and you're hard pressed to get any information from these guys that you're paying on a monthly basis. But I've seen you in action on these calls, and I come away from the calls being blown away by how simple you make it sound, right? You're executing for them. All the things you're telling the people to do, you're doing that for these clients.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see the leads come in, right? We're linked up to the same lead gen results, where the emails come in and we see who is essentially emailing for a lead. We see that come in, and I'm seeing these leads just pop up all the time on this company that we work for. But the presentation that you give, you really educate these guys on a monthly basis. You need to shoot more videos on YouTube, and that's going to help drive the traffic on the website. You really break it down for them. It's been impressive, man. I'll be honest.
Yeah, a lot of people don't show it because they just don't have the whole, how do you say it? The full spectrum, if you will, from end to end. See, because I have from end to end. I've hired these people. I'm a business owner myself. I've been forced to learn it and then became good at it. And now I'm implementing this from end to end. There's not one part of the process I don't know, right? Most of these companies you hire, right? If you Google like marketing company Dallas, right? You give them a call, they're going to you'll speak to the receptionist, and the receptionist is going to put you in touch with the sales associate, right? Now, this sales associate has never owned a business before. He's never, understood what it was like to do certain elements of that spectrum. If he's the one that's doing the sales, he doesn't know how to do the marketing. There's a different team doing the marketing, and then the marketing team has never done sales before. You see, so you can see where there's going to be a gap no matter who you speak to, because each department doesn't know or have the skill or has been a business owner themselves. Now, there's companies out there that will do good, but I haven't been able to find them. I'm sure there's always one part of the equation that they don't deal with, or they don't handle, or it's not in their scope of work, is how they like to put it. Right? So they get the leads for you, but there's no follow-up, or you don't know how to do the sales, or if they they do the marketing for you, and they don't know how to close the leads. So uh, what we bring to the table is like the full spectrum. Like, we know from top to bottom, left to right, what all it takes and what all it includes. And yeah, that customer you're talking about, the client that you're talking about, we actually hit like really good, probably like 3 or 4 pages on the top 5 positions now, and it's month 5 working with them, so they're extremely happy.
Yeah, and unlike most advertising from days gone by, it was very difficult to measure. But the digital side, you can measure everything. There's nothing you can't measure, right? Like when you're optimizing a website, JP, you know exactly where you rank, right?
Mm,
And every month, the goal is to get that ranking higher and higher.
yeah,
And on the lead gen side, I mean, you know exactly how many leads you're getting. Everything can be measured, and that's what makes digital marketing so powerful. First, you can measure it, but you got to know how to put this stuff in place. So that's why we want to do a deep dive tonight, to give you guys a little bit of what Josh knows and how valuable it is. So hopefully you guys have gleaned something from this and can implement this in your own business. Or if you need something, reach out to us.
yeah, definitely reach out to us. I'll give you my number here. You can send us a text message. This is a texting only number, 972-284-0506. That comes to me. If you want to get in touch, or feel free to hit us up on Instagram. I will say this about the SEO stuff. So the SEO is what we're working with our client, and you do the paid advertising first to see the quickest results, because you can pay to get in the number 1 spot. But the SEO is an ongoing investment that has to happen on the back end. But that will take anywhere from 6 to 9, maybe 12 months to see any results from SEO. So you wouldn't start a new company, or going straight after SEO, because you wouldn't see any results that quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've heard it described, the pay-per-view is the short term trading, and the long term play is the SEO.
Yeah.
That's how you got to look at it as a business owner. It's an investment.
Mm-hmm. And then at some point the SEO kicks off, and you're on the first page for a lot of terms, SEO terms, search engine terms, and then you can lower your advertising cost on the paid ads, or you can increase it and crush it even more. I'm at a point now where I have to limit how much I spend, because I get too many leads, you know and so that's kind of where I am at right now. That's why I'm hiring sales reps.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem everybody wants, is you got so many leads that you can't keep up. That
Right.
that's every business owner's dream right there, man. So that's the kind of lead gen system you want to build, where you have so many leads you don't know how to keep up. Then
Mm,
you got to hire guys as fast as you can.
right. All right, guys. Well, that's all that I had today.
I appreciate you sharing that, man. I thought it was critical for you to do that, and I'm glad you did, man. It's
Yeah.
it's a crucial step. I really believe that's how you've gotten to that Inc. 5000 list 3 years in a row. So
My operations are not the best. They could be better. They're good. They're not a detriment to me. But obviously, business is not like it's not the end goal, right? It's an ongoing journey. But I think if people address the marketing stuff up front, it's gonna make the rest of the stuff go good, because you got the cash flow to you know sustain and to fix and to optimize along the way.
yeah, and that how many small businesses out there are a 10 out of 10 on the operational side?
Mm,
Very few. And
mm,
even the big companies. I mean, you can pick a company and you say, man, their customer service is lousy or whatever. There's gaps almost in every operational efficiency of every company. They all struggle. And I always say, there's never a point in time where you can't work on your operations.
right.
Right? We could do it tomorrow. We could do it a month from now. We could do it a year from now. Where you could go all in and say, I want to make my operations a 9 out of 10, right? If you think they're a 6 now or a 7, you want to run it to a 9, 9.5. There's never a time you can't do that, but you always need the sales, right? The
Mm,
sales have to come first.
Right.
And the sales are generated through the lead gen.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Next Level Business Podcast. Make sure to not like, this is not YouTube, but leave us a review. We're looking to get more reviews on iTunes if you're tuning in there. And if you like this kind of episode where we're going deep dive with just me and Shane talking about our business experience, make sure to text us. Once again, that number is 972-284-0506. And we're going to be signing off. Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys next time.